So, Mr. Callahan, look, that could have been an issue last night with the pass rush of the Giants and the offensive line problems with the injuries. How do you think the offensive line played last night?
Outstanding. Like, given that context, and I'll say this off the top, I picked the Giants yesterday. We were doing pregame or early edition on NBC because it was the pass rush. It was this offense that's sneaky been top 10 since the start of October by EPA for the Giants. And just the calendar for the Patriots, you're banged up. Every team in the league, all of the good teams have had a stinker every single year, every single week this season. So to me, I was like, it's just their time. And they'll get their bye and they'll come back and they'll be better and they'll win most of their games and probably get the 1 seed anyway. But what that offensive line did initially, there's a lot of quick game that helped them. But you could see them settle in and Josh McDaniels' confidence grow in what they were doing because the pass plays got longer and longer developing, which said, okay, I can call these and Drake's not going to be in a ton of trouble.
Okay. And so is Drake Maye the MVP as far as you're concerned?
Yes. Yeah, and I think he's going to win it.
All right.
You saw Darnold stumble a couple weeks ago. Stafford didn't have the best day on Sunday, and then Maye goes out and does what he always does. And it just we were talking about this before you came in. Maye's isn't spectacular. He doesn't. You don't look and go wow, but he's 24 of 31 for 282 yards.
I disagree.
He's very consistent. He throws the deep ball well, but he doesn't have that. I don't know, that wow factor that you see in Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
So I think what you're speaking to is probably the final stat line where like somehow Drake Maye, good as he is, future MVP, does not have a 300-yard game.
Yes.
So there's not this avalanche of yards and
He
scoring.
doesn't have that 500-yard game with 3 touchdowns.
But does he still win MVP, by the way? Because we're just saying that he's winning the MVP. If they lose to the I don't think they're going to lose to the Ravens, but if they lose to the Bills and Ravens, does he still win the MVP?
I mean, those odds would obviously go way down. It depends on what Matt Stafford does because it's really just between the two of them right now. I think Dak Prescott's third, and as good as the Cowboys have been lately, they're not going to the playoffs. You have to be a high seed to win.
The Cowboys could go to the playoffs, and if they do, you have to know that being on the Cowboys is a bit of a plus. When it comes to voting, anything that comes to a vote, the Cowboys are going. That is, it's like being a Republican in Arkansas. Like you're pretty much winning. Like if you're in the conversation,
that's Jared.
Well, anything that is allows the writers to say, what do I like, and what will people like?
What do we have to talk about incessantly?
Do you think they're well liked though?
It doesn't matter. They're talked about incessantly.
They're America's team.
They're America's what?
Team.
Oh.
Okay, so. Nickname. What team does every national basketball writer like? Okay, the answer is the Knicks.
The Knicks. Okay,
no,
I thought you were going to go Lakers.
No, it's the Knicks.
It's the Knicks.
It's the Knicks.
No, they have to like LeBron James because it's what they invested in 20 years of actually making him a superhero, literally in a cartoon. They had to do that, but they all they root for the Knicks. It's not as bad because people tend to be a little bit more home-based when it comes to football, but the Cowboys are that team nationally that has to be talked about constantly. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Drake Maye deserves to win MVP. I just think if they stumble a little bit here at the end, and not even stumble and lose the number 1 seed, but lose a couple games.
And if Stafford winds up having another couple
Stafford's
of games in a row.
Stafford's not going to fall apart.
Well, what I'm saying is it's close enough so that if Maye stumbles a little bit and Stafford comes back.
I just think Maye.
I had this argument
with the Jets and Dolphins. Like you just lock those two.
Well, I mean that Dolphin game might not mean anything to the Patriots, and I'm certainly not playing Maye at all in that game. Belichick used to screw around with that crap. No way. If there's a nothing game, you sit that kid down. You don't. You give him 2 weeks rest. No playing him. Remember when Belichick would screw around and then guys would get hurt in the last game of the season?
Yep.
No, you don't play a soul. You leave that be. Make a trade and get Milton back, and have him go run roughshod over everyone. But that game very well could mean nothing. That last game of the season, and so that's like a 2-week bye for the kid. That's fine with me. You wouldn't play May in the last game if there's nothing to play for, would you?
Well, here's the thing: if Denver wins this Sunday, and I don't know off the top of my head, I think they have the Raiders.
They play the Raiders. They're going to win on Sunday.
And then they got the Jags, and they got the Packers, and I think the Chiefs are one of their last games.
Chargers.
So
it's Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, and it's Vegas is the Green Bay too.
Yeah.
Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, and another good
Jaguars.
team. And Jaguars. And so they play one bad team. They play the Raiders, and they'll win that game. So they will win on Sunday. They're not losing that game. So the Raiders are a mess.
So I think the way that it would be a game that you don't have to worry about looking way, way ahead to that Dolphins finale is Denver loses 2, Patriots don't lose any, and that way you go, okay, we can slip up 1 and still stay ahead. Because it's really going to be between the two of them, the way the Colts have fallen apart, not just schedule-wise, but physically. Sauce Gardner and Daniel Jones. Like I'm not worried about them at all if I'm the Patriots.
No, I
at
wouldn't
this
be
point.
worried about them.
Daniel Jones got a broken leg. I mean, they're not saying exactly what it is,
Yeah.
but we were talking about it yesterday. It doesn't seem like something you could play through.
Well, I
He's trying
laugh
to play through it.
It's the most undersold storyline that this like legit contender until maybe a week or two ago has, like you said, a broken leg. The
Yeah.
quarterback who has to be mobile at the peak of his powers, like you saw with the Giants, just design quarterback runs. You get him out on boots and rollouts and RPOs, and if he can't do that, like he's just gonna melt, like he's been doing.
All right. So the notion that I had yesterday was that they had to win this game last night. By the way, did you pick the Giants?
Yeah, I said that.
Okay. You picked the Giants, and I thought if they had lost to the Giants, you'd be very seriously looking at 2 losses in a row here, because I don't think there'd be any shame, nor is there any fault in thinking that maybe they don't beat the Bills twice in a season, even if it's at home, and even if you're coming off the bye. There isn't a long track record with, Vrabel and Drake Maye. How do they play off the bye? Well, you don't know with this team, and they could lose that game. And losing those 2 games in a row, had they lost last night, would have been a huge hit to their season. But getting that win last night the way that they did, it kind of changes my mind in terms of what could happen now with Buffalo. Like this team, if there's ever a team that's feeling it right now, it's got to be the Patriots.
For sure. I don't agree with the huge hit, but I understand the point because you just have only so many layups the rest of the way. And before last night, you would have said there are 3, the Giants, the Jets, and the Dolphins. And again, for reasons I already outlined, I picked the Giants and just thought, look, they're too tired, and that team is due for a win. Because they had pushed the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears to 1-possession games. They should have won probably 2 of them in consecutive weeks. And I say, okay, they're just going to break through on Monday night, and it'll be one of those dumb games that everyone's had. Just ask the Rams in Carolina on Sunday. This will be the Patriots' turn. But I think they can still beat the Bills at home. I'm not as worried about that, which is weird because Buffalo would probably be at the top of the list of teams I don't want to see in the AFC. But there's also something like, okay, when you're wounded and then you get the time to recover and rest, mentally you still have the edge of we really got to beat these guys.
The Rams-Carolina thing is interesting because we had a discussion yesterday about Carolina. And there's a handful of teams right now. Like, John asked me, he's like, are they good? Like,
7-6.
They're not bad.
That's
And
not the same team that came to Foxborough earlier this season. They look much better.
We've been saying it for a few weeks. Like, Carolina. Yeah, Carolina to cover, Carolina to get a win here. They're not a bad team. I'm not saying that the Rams should have allowed them to get beat or should have been beaten by Carolina, but they're not bad.
Where are you guys just on the season as a whole? Because this season, more than any other I've covered, makes no sense to me.
No.
Yeah, this season is
You apply all the regular rules.
It's
I was going to say, I've been watching some Stranger Things. This is the upside down season that I'm watching. So we can apply all the regular rules of like, you can't lose the Giants. It's one of your last winnable games.
Well,
I don't know. You could maybe.
What's interesting is that Kansas City and Baltimore aren't good. That's what's interesting. Baltimore especially is not good. I think the Patriots are better than Baltimore. But bottom line, on the road, anywhere, they're better than Baltimore.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Those two teams specifically, it's more compelling that they are as bad as they are, more so than Carolina might be good. Jacksonville, that might be a decent football
Jacksonville
team. Like,
is
maybe.
whatever.
But holy crap, the Chiefs and the Ravens to just be pulling no shows.
Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow right now could all miss the playoffs very easily.
That's right.
2 of them are out.
And so when you look at the AFC playoff picture, it's these teams that are, playing really well but are talent-wise underwhelming. I mean, that's what it is. There's not, obviously, we've talked about it a bunch of times, and it's an obvious statement, but there's no great team. There's no team that's, loaded with talent that's just a juggernaut that's
Right.
going to.
There's no wagon.
What of these teams do you think is going to have like some 20-year run? I mean, the Patriots should be really good with their coach and quarterback, but they're going to play a first place schedule next season, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, are they going to all of a sudden become like elite at all these positions? No.
Yes.
No, they will not.
Yes.
I can assure you of that.
This is one of those standalone.
These
seasons
receivers
you like
that
to
you so
enjoy.
easily
Yeah.
dismissed in the preseason that are just showing off and showing
I know.
up.
I should have been more.
Pop Douglas.
I should have been more.
Keyshawn Booty.
I should have been more on top of that. I do apologize.
Well,
I
you
did,
were wrong.
I
Just
didn't
say
think
you
the
were wrong and
Patriots
we
were
can
going
move
to.
off of it.
Well, I can't admit that. I thought they were going to be 11-2. I mean, you didn't. I mean, look at that. I mean, that roster should be 11-2.
You know what the other part of this is?
Second-year quarterback, of course.
Yeah, of course.
It's again, there's no wagon, so the analogy is not perfect. But the AFC to the NFL is what the Eastern Conference is to the NBA. Like all of the really good teams, you'd say, okay, I know the Rams are really good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
When Darnold, there's a limited amount of faith you can have in him, but the offense around him is great. So is that defense. Philly's still loaded, talented. Pick whatever team you want from the NFC North, Packers, Bears, Lions. I don't care. All
Well, the
best teams in the
Seahawks,
league
San
are-
Francisco,
Right, they're all in the NFC.
By
So
the
if you're
way-
Patriots, it's as easy as it's been in the most wide open year we've had in maybe a decade.
Because if the Patriots are in the NFC, let's be honest, there's no one that you want to play in the playoffs. Chicago, maybe. But there's no one that I want to play in the
number one
playoffs.
seed.
If you want to do the exercise, if I'm the Patriot, if you're the Patriots, you want to play Philadelphia? Of course not. Do you want to play Green Bay? No. Do you want to play the Lions? No. Anyone in the South? Fine. Do you want to play the Rams? No. Do you want to play Seattle? No. Do you want to play the 49ers?
Even
no.
Tampa, when they get healthy.
I'd play Tampa. I'd put Tampa like in the field of the AFC.
I'd play San Francisco.
I played Philly too. Actually.
San Francisco's as good a coach team as you, and they're getting healthier. So I will tell you this. But that's debatable. Whatever. Do you like? Say Patriots in the AFC. You don't like them in the Philadelphia game. Philadelphia wins that game.
Philadelphia has far more talent.
You don't
Yeah,
like
right.
that.
But I think that's a toss-up because we've all watched the Eagles, and if you listen to anyone around there, they sound like the most miserable team in the
they
league.
are,
but their schedule's ludicrous.
If they
And-
ever find their game again,
but
you
but
don't
there's
have a chance.
but their schedule's insanity.
Yeah.
And then if you play Green Bay, you don't like them in that game. If they play the Lions, you don't like them in that game. But the Lions are 7-5. Have you seen who the Lions have played? Their schedule's ludicrous. You don't like them against the Rams. I don't particularly like them against Seattle. I think they could win. But I mean, and then the 49ers, I think they would probably win. But I like them less than I do against Jacksonville.
But more
I mean,
to Andrew's point, the AFC is obviously the NFC is loaded. The AFC is not.
Right.
It is wide open. And
because you can't just go by record in the NFC because some of these teams, the AFC is all gone to like the baseline is very low. So you can't even say the Patriots schedule anymore. Like it's just the baseline of it is very low. Denver's schedule hasn't been hard. It's getting harder. But the NFC, these guys, I mean, if you play in the NFC North, it's insane.
It all amounts
There's
to-
3 elite teams in that division. You got to play them both twice. I mean, come on. It's not the same.
Yeah, but it all amounts to the same thing. We'll see you in San Francisco. We're all going. And then
For all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.